Good morning. I'm Vashita Nagaraja and I'm here to speak about the topic aligning bag of regions for open vocabulary object detection. Coming to the introduction, the paper that I've chosen tackles the challenges of open vocabulary object detection, where traditional object detectors are constrained to recognizing only predefined categories, limiting their adaptability in diverse scenarios. Existing OVD methods often focus on aligning individual region embeddings with pre-trained vision language models. However, this paper introduces Barron Bag of Regions, a novel approach that surpasses individual region alignment. Barron forms groups of contextually related regions referred to as bags to capture complex compositional structures of multiple semantic concepts within scenes. It achieves this by sampling related regions using a neighborhood sampling strategy and aligning the bag of region embeddings with teacher embeddings obtained from VLMs, employing a contrastive learning approach. This innovative method enhances the model's ability to understand scenes holistically, offering a promising solution to challenges for the OVD. The key contribution for aligning bag of regions for open vocabulary object detection is the development of a novel method to enhance open vocabulary object detection using pre-trained vision models. The main highlights are bag of regions approach, where instead of aligning individual region embeddings with VLM features, this method proposes grouping in contextually related regions into a bag. This approach more effectively leverages the compositional structure of multiple semantic concepts in a scene. Embedding alignment, the embeddings of the regions within a bag are treated similarly to words in a sentence. These are then processed through the text encoder of a VLM to create a bag of region embedding aligned with corresponding features extracted by a frozen VLM. Methodology for bag formulation, the method involves sampling contextually interrelated regions to form a bag, employing a neighborhood sampling strategy. It leverages the region proportion network, which is the RPN, to cover potential novel objects, thus enhancing the model's understanding of the scene. General applicability and performance. The method is versatile and demonstrates superior performance across multiple challenging benchmarks, indicating its effectiveness and flexibility in open vocabulary object detection tasks. This approach represents a significant advancement in object detection, particularly in its ability to better utilize the compositional structures learned by VLMs and improve detection performance in novel and varied categories. There are various methods used. The preliminary. The paper introduces an extension of the faster RCNN architecture, aiming to enable object detection for arbitrary vocabularies beyond its original training data. The key modification involves replacing the original classifier with a linear layer that projects region features into pseudowords in a word embedding space, which are then compared to category embeddings for classification. During training, ground truth labels are only provided for base categories following conventional faster RCNN methods. However, the approach extends learning to operate on bags of regions, leveraging visual language models to capture complex scenes with co-occurring objects, enabling detection of novel categories not present in the training annotations. The next approach is forming bag of region. The proposed framework in this paper advances open vocabulary object detection by utilizing the image encoder of VLM as a teacher to guide the detector, especially in recognizing the coexistence of multiple concepts and potential novel objects. The approach hinges on two main principles for forming a bag of regions: proximity and similar sizes. Regions within a bag are kept physically close and of comparable sizes to minimize redundancy and ensure balanced representation. This achieved through a neighborhood sampling strategy where eight spatially close and slightly overlapping boxes are selected around each region proposal from the RPM. These boxes are adjusted to match the original region space, discarding any that excessively exceed the image boundary. This method, by focusing on the contextual composition of scenes, enables the model to capture a more nuanced understanding of the objects and their surrounding environment, fostering improved detection of both known and novel object categories. Representing bag of regions, wherein an innovative system involves open vocabulary object detection by analyzing groups of regions in images, where each region is described by pseudowords. It employs a dual approach, one for the student, the object detector. It generates a bag of regions embedding, incorporating both pseudowords and special positional embeddings. These positional embeddings capture crucial spatial details like the position and shape of each region to the placement of words in a sentence, thus preserving the contextual relationship between regions. For the teacher, there is the VLMs, which is the image encoder. Bannon focuses on an image crop encompassing these regions, applying masking in the image encoder's attention layers to concentrate on relevant areas. This generates an image feature embedding that represents the grouped regions from a different perspective, emphasizing their contextual and spatial interplay. Together, these term methodologies allow Barron to intricately understand and interpret both the descriptive and spatial aspects of the region within images, enhancing its object detection capabilities. The pseudowords are represented by Wij as shown in the figure, where I represents group index and J represents the region index to retain the important spatial information, including the relative box center positions and shapes. The framework encodes the spatial information into positional embedding represented as Bij and the group size as Ni. For the teacher, which is the VLM's image encoder, the image embedding of the group regions is obtained by feeding the image crop that encloses these regions of the image encoder V. It's important to note that this image crop may contain redundant information from areas outside the group regions. To address this, the framework applies a masking and attention layers of the image encoder V to focus solely on the relevant information within the grouped regions. Aligning bag of regions. In the Barron framework, the alignment of bag of region embedding between the student and the teacher is central to teaching the student to encode and coexistence of multiple regions, each potentially encapsulating various concepts. This is achieved through a contrasted learning approach commonly used in vision language pre-training. The core of this process involves calculating the info and CE loss for the alignment of these embeddings, the formula for which is given in the slide over here. In this formula, PKTV and PKVT represent the probabilities calculated on the cosine similarity between the teacher and student embeddings scaled by a temperature parameter. This loss function is designed to bring compatible, which is a positive student and teacher embedding pairs closer while distancing incompatible negative pairs. For effective learning, especially when dealing with a limited number of region pairs per image, Barron maintains two queues to store image and text embeddings from previous iterations, providing a robust set of negative pairs for the contrasted learning approach. Caption supervision. The Barron system incorporates an advanced features that leverages caption supervision to enhance its performance. This extension involves substituting the standard image embedding with one generated by processing image captions through the text encoder. For this, Barron randomly samples sets of region proposals from the RPN and aligns the student's bag of region embedding with various caption embeddings using a soft cross entropy loss similar to the UniCL approach. This method does not align individual regions with specific caption words due to the lack of direct correspondence, but instead it focuses on the broader alignment of the region groups with the textual descriptions in caption. This capability allows Barron to better understand and integrate multiple semantic concepts within an image, thereby enhancing its object detection accuracy when caption data is available. Coming to the experiments performed, in the evaluation, the authors assessed the performance of Barron on two widely used object detection datasets, COCO and LVIS. To ensure a fair comparison with other models, they divide the object categories into two groups, the base category and the novel categories. Base categories are common objects, while novel categories represent less common or new objects. For COCO, they employ a benchmark called OV-COCO and measure detection performance using the box average precision AB metrics at an intersection over union threshold of 0.5. In the benchmark results, Barron demonstrated its superiority compared to previous state-of-the-art methods on open vocabulary object detection across various scenarios. For the OVCOCO benchmark, Barron outperforms previous methods whether they utilize pre-trained very large language models or COCO captions for supervision. Even when competing against OVDETR, which is based on the stronger deformable DETR architecture, Barron achieves a 4.6 point higher AP50 on novel categories. When utilizing caption supervision, Barron surpasses PBOVD, a method employing sophisticated pseudo-labeling techniques. In the context of the OV-LVIS benchmark, Barron stands out as a top-performing method across all scenarios. Even when compared to methods like VILD, which are trained with large-scale jittering and elaborate schedules, Barron's performance remains superior. It's worth noting that Barron achieves this success without relying on additional tricks like learning prompts or ensembling strategies for classification scores, which are used for VILD. Coming to the ablation study, in this section, ablation study is conducted to analyze the effectiveness of various components and strategies in Barron and OV-COCO benchmark. Effectiveness of aligning bag of regions. To understand the contribution of different components, the study starts with a baseline that employs only the individual level loss. This baseline achieves a MAP50 of 25.7 on novel categories. Later, the individual level loss is replaced with a bag of region loss, which initially doesn't consider the spatial information of region boxes. This change results in comparable performance on novel categories. However, when spatial information is added through a positional embedding, the performance on novel categories significantly improves by 7.1 MAP50. This demonstrates this encoding spatial information is crucial for effectively leveraging the compositional structure of co-occurring visual concepts in the bag of regions. Sampling strategies. Seen in Table 5, in our investigation of different sampling strategies to obtain bag of regions, we assessed three distinct approaches. First, the grid sampling method divided the images into fixed grids, treating each grid cell as a region. However, this approach only achieved moderate performance with a MAP50 score of 25.4 on novel categories. Second, the random sampling approach involved randomly selecting the region proposals to form bag of regions, but the varying sizes, shapes, and potentially large distances between the regions hindered accurate representation by the image encoder, resulting in an MAP50 score of 27.3. In contrast, our proposed neighborhood sampling strategy, initially applied in a reduced version, limited the number of region proposals per image to 12 and created one bag per person, and achieving a MAP50 score of 32.2 by effectively capturing potential objects near regional proposals. Box overlap between regions in a bag. As shown in Table 6, the study investigates the effect of the intersection of a foreground overlap between boxes in a bag. An overlap of 0.1 produces the best performance with MAP50 of 34. This suggests that the regions in a group should have both semantic continuity and diverse image content. Sampling probability. As shown in Table 7, the study examines the impact of sampling probability for candidate boxes, which influences the number of regions in a bag. The best result for novel categories is achieved when we set PB as 0.3. Number of bags per proposal, as shown in Table 8, the study analyzes the effect of the number of sample bags per region proposal. 3 bag of regions per region proposal with a sampling probability of 0.3 and alpha of 3.0 yield the best result. Number of pseudo words per region. The study explores the number of pseudo words predicted for each region of interest. Increasing the number of pseudo words up to a certain point enhances the detector's ability to distinguish object categories. This tabulation experiment provides insights into the design choices and components that contribute to balanced success in open vocabulary object detection. The paper represents a significant advancement in the field of open vocabulary object detection by moving beyond the traditional approach of learning individual regions within images. Instead, it explores the potential of large-scale vision language models to capture the compositional structure of multiple concepts that naturally exist in image text pairs. This is achieved through the development of a novel neighboring sampling strategy which groups contextually related regions into bags, and the application of the contrastive learning approach to align the representation of these bag of regions between the object detector and the pre-trained VLMs. As a result, the proposed model achieves state-of-the-art performance on various OVD benchmarks. The compositional structure explored in this paper primarily focuses on the co-occurrence of objects within images, which can be likened to the concept of a bag of words in natural language processing. However, the study acknowledges that the more intricate compositional structures found in human languages, which involve complex relationship and hierarchies among words and concepts, remain a challenge to fully understand and harness in the context of VLMs. Whether modern pre-trained vision language models are capable of capturing such complex linguistic structures is still an open question for the research community. Therefore, this paper not only contributes for advancing OVD but also underscores the need for further research into unveiling the behavior of VLMs and working towards endowing them with more human-like compositional representation, thereby moving closer to achieve generalized intelligence. Thank you.